2006 Porsche Cayman S. We just took this vehicle in this last weekend. It is a true one owner with 27,000 miles. The Cayman S is one of my favorite automobiles ever produced, and I'm going to go around the vehicle and show you why. We're also going to take it for a ride down US 41 here in Naples. When you come into the vehicle, you'll see that this one's been taken care of probably better than any other Cayman S that might be out there on the market right now. Webb, when you look down the seat, there's no heavy wear. When you actually enter the vehicle from either the bottom or the top bolster, there's no major scrapage on this the entry guard there. As far as when you come in through the door, there's no ring marks or watch marks on any of the leather on the steering wheel, on the transmission handle, or on your actual door opener. I'm going to open up both of the bonnets and show you how much space you actually get inside of a Cayman S. Most people don't realize that besides being an awesome sports car, that you can actually take this vehicle on long weekend getaways and have plenty of room to go for weeks on end. Actually, you can see that it's a pretty deep well. This particular one here does have a cargo net. This is an optional upgrade that you normally don't see all the time, and basically what this is a divider from keeping objects from going inside the front of the cabin whenever you'd brake at heavy rates of speed. That's a nice extra option that I'd make sure that I had in my automobile as well. The engine is actually up underneath here. This is a mid-engine Porsche, which it's a 295 horsepower boxer engine that's up underneath this. You have to actually maintain the automobile from up underneath. And so that's the only access is from up underneath. What you see here is actually your oil and your fluid reservoir. Webb, as you pan along the car, you'll see again that this car is as clean as you'll find. No imperfections at all. I went around and looked at all the wheels. There's no imperfection on the wheels. Those are 19-inch wheels. Right now we currently are ZR19s with the tires, Michelin's. The S always designates, you can tell by the red brake calipers. That's unique to Porsche. Whenever you see red calipers, you know that it is the S model. Going up underneath the front bonnet, you'll see again that you have plenty of storage area. Porsche actually makes luggage that fits to the dimensions of this front bonnet area. And again, it just allows you a lot of extra room for those weekend getaways. When you close the front bonnet, it's going to stop once, and then you press on both sides of the Porsche crest and make sure it's locked in place. Webb, go ahead and jump in the passenger seat and we'll go for a ride. Now this particular Cayman S is equipped with the standard seat. That means no power, which is great for guys that are looking for less weight inside of their vehicle. So you do have to manually adjust the seat from the lever that's underneath your right leg in the driver position. To raise and lower, you actually have a handle that you either pull up on to raise or push down to lower. And then your back is actually power. In all Porsches, the back is a powered option that comes standard. As I go around the car, you'll see that we do have Bose. And another way that you know that the Bose upgraded system is in, if you notice next to Webb's leg, is that you do have the powered amplifier, which adds just a little, about 1.5 inches of space into the footwell of the passenger side. This one does have heated seats, no navigation, which is good. The outdated systems, you want just the standard stereo system and then use your iPhone or smartphone for your navigation setups. This particular automobile has the Sport Chronograph package. Now the Sport Chronograph, most people think is just what you see in the middle of the dash. It looks like a clock. That's actually a timer for when you're out on the track. But that's not where the Sport Chrono package stops. If you pan to the bottom, you're going to notice that there's a couple buttons that say Sport. And then also you're going to notice one here, and that's called PASM. That's Porsche Active Suspension Management. And it's already gone away from in the dash, so I'm going to push it again, and you see right now it says normal. and when the light's lit, it's going to say Sport. What that does is it stiffens your suspension into a sport type mode. I'm going to add a little bit of air conditioning here. Now when you actually physically put it in sport mode, what's going to happen is your acceleration is going to be shorter when you push your actual accelerator. So it shortens how hard you have to push the gas pedal to achieve RPMs, and it really gives it a more snappier, out of the gate type feel with it in that sport mode. Now when you do engage the sport mode, it does also automatically engage the sport suspension with the PASM unit. You do have a rear spoiler that can be manually raised and lowered. However, at 65 mile an hour, that spoiler will automatically raise for you out in the highway. This last button I'm going to talk about before we go on the ride is called PSM. That's called your Porsche Suspension Management, and that's just your traction control. If you're looking to let the back end bust loose a little bit, you can actually turn that on and off. In most cases, you do want it to engage. It does keep the vehicle on the road with minimal slippage. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the park and brake, and we're going to take off in just normal mode. This is a 6-speed manual transmission, and this particular vehicle, the second upgrade, is the prior one owner did put in what's called a Porsche short throw kit. And basically what that means is you have a shorter distance to go from gear to gear and a tighter synchro, and just really gives you that sports car feel when you're shifting through the gears. I love it. It's just an awesome machine. So we're going to move this here so we can see out of our windshield, and we're going to take off. The clutch system is a very easy system to drive with. Probably when you really get into a true sports car with a manual transmission, you're not going to find anything smoother, easier to operate with this hydraulic clutch system. If it's been a few years since you've driven a manual transmission, you're really going to feel at home right away when you start driving this automobile. So I'm going to take off out of the dealership here, and I'm going to stay at a little moderate acceleration. And right now we're in second gear, so I'm going to go ahead and step on it just a little bit. You can see right away this guy wants to open up and breathe like a true sports car. Again, the Cayman S is by far, ever produced, one of my favorite sports cars. There's so much you can do with it. This one has the right equipment, exactly how I'd build it if I was building a brand new one from the factory. It's a vehicle that you can drive every day to the office, put in the garage at night, knowing that on Saturday morning you're going to wake up and go to the track with it, enjoy it in that aspect. You've got plenty of room for luggage, for golf clubs. You've got plenty of room for two individuals to go comfortably on a trip. It's just the perfect automobile for somebody that's looking for a sports car and enjoy the other parts of life as well. Right now we're at a stoplight here, and we're going to get going. When I get to the next straightaway, I am going to engage the sport mode in the driving system, and you'll probably even notice on camera the difference from the first rapid acceleration that we just did. One nice thing about the Porsches, the way they're set up, is they've got a lot of heritage items. Your key actually is over on the left-hand side. That's from the heritage days with the Le Mans start. The drivers would start off on a hill, and at the start of the race they'd actually run to their cars. Well, Porsche had an advantage by putting their ignition on the left-hand side for their drivers to take off quicker than their competitors. Also, if you notice, the tach is the middle gauge that you see, and when you're on a track, you don't really care how fast you're going. You're more concerned about actually what your tachometer's reading, and that's why that's the focus in any Porsche that's produced. So we're getting ready to take a turn here. I'm going to engage the sport mode. You can do that at any speed, and here we go. So I'm going to put her down just a little bit here. As you can see, that snapback is quite a bit more dramatic, and it jumps right up in the RPMs right away. And again, the only term I can use is these cars just like to get up and breathe. That's what they're built to do. They're built to have fun, to enjoy. I can't think of any other automobile that even comes close to the type of enjoyment you'd have with a Cayman S. We appreciate you coming along today with us on the test drive. Make sure to check us out on www.naplesluxuryimports.com, and we'll see you on the next video. Have a good day.